Hi, welcome back to the farm. My name is Roz, also known as Passion Flower, and you'll find me here each week talking about my farming and creative life. Today is a little bit cold, and so I've been able to wear a jumper. It has been a really weird week, and I know I always talk about the weather, but being on a farm, I think it's something that we always have front of mind. So it started out actually quite hot, like almost 30 degrees some days. And by the end of the week, we are at like 15. The sun has only just come out now and it's gotten really, really windy. Uh, but up until now, it's been a really grey, overcast, cold day. We are starting to see the rain actually make a difference in terms of the dam levels. So hopefully that's going to continue now throughout the rest of autumn and into winter. We're getting a little bit of that grass growing, and um, I, I think maybe the seasons have actually shifted now. With the ground being a little bit wetter, Adam has been doing some tree planting around the farm. He's put a line of trees out here by the shed, and he's also put some into the horse paddock as well. Hopefully, that's going to be providing shade for the animals and also providing some sort of windbreaks as well, and helping with the soil. But he waited to plant some more trees until we had water available to be able to water them in, and also when the ground was a little bit wetter. Last weekend was the All About Fibre and Yarn Festival market in Kyneton, which was a really lovely day. Thank you if you stopped by. It was really lovely to get back out into the market scene for the year, and I really enjoyed myself. Since then, I have started to get more yarn dyed up for my next market, which is the Gabby's Geelong and Bellarine Yarn Show, which is at the Geelong Deakin University waterfront campus on the 18th of April. So it's really only a few weeks away. I am going to be getting ready some more of my new Aura base yarn, so there will be sweater quantities of those available there, as well as getting some all-time favorite sock yarn colors dyed up. And I've just done a little bit more wispy lace this week, and I'll be doing some more of everything over the next couple of weeks. I restocked my aqua on wispy lace, and I just dyed up a batch of Roses Aren't Always Red on wispy lace. I already have this on sock yarn, so it's a really nice complement to that, or a contrast to something else. And a new colorway, I mean, this is basically new as well, is this one, which I'm going to call Eucalypt, I think. So in the skein, you can see it's got some darker bits of green, some white, and then it has sort of some browny kind of bits as well. And there's also a few spots of a blue. So you know how when you look at a whole forest of gum trees, you can see the ones close up are quite green and bright, and then you've got the ones that are sort of brown through the middle, and then as you look through to the distance, there is like a blue haze over them. So that is this new colorway. Nice, light. Oh, it's not coming out. That's probably a bit better. A nice light colorway that can go with lots of different options. So I'm getting plenty of yarn dyed up over these next few weeks, because I realized that after Gabby's, I've got a number of markets weekends after that as well. I kind of had thought, oh yeah, I've got April and then I've got May, and yeah, that's no problem. But I've actually got them back to back to back. So I don't really know what I've done to myself there, but I need to get a good chunk of yarn dyed up and have it ready for each market, rather than be dyeing in between to get things restocked. So I've been writing out a few lists of what I need to do, and I am going to be hopefully getting myself organized. At least it will be school holidays, not this coming week, but next. So I will have those 2 weeks before Gabby's to get ready for that, and then for the markets following that as well. First to what I'm wearing this week. This is the Melanie jumper that I made last year and then fixed over the summer because the sleeves were too tight. It is a form-fitting drop shoulder. It's got a double collar and double sleeves and a double hem. I made it using Liasm in their Pol Merino. It is beautifully soft, and I held that Pol Merino with a coral from Fiberific. It was a Tencel merino blend, I think. I always forget the combination of that one. But it was a laceway and a 4-ply held together. Oh, look. Whoops. Haven't quite cut the ends off. It's all finished. 100% finished. So I'm really, really happy with this jumper. As I said, the first time I knit the sleeves, I knit to pattern and it was way too tight. The sleeve like hole was a good size, but the pickup was too small. So once I picked up, the tube was just way too narrow for my arms. So what I did was unpick both of the sleeves and cast on almost double the amount of stitches, and then did not really decrease at all. I just knit a tube down, and originally I had them quite long. The pattern actually has them as 3/4 like this, but I had knit them full length. But because I had added all of that extra circumference, I decided to make them shorter. And I think that this is actually a good length in the end because I do push my sleeves up quite a bit, and it can be something that I can wear when it's not super hot or super cold, with just a little bit of coverage, and I'd be pushing the sleeves up if it was a long sleeve anyway. So really happy with this, happy with the color that it turned out. If you see up close, it's actually like you can really see the gray and the pink, but from far away, it gives more of an overall, almost a like light purpley mauve kind of vibe, and I really, really love it. After all of the talk about extra projects and thinking about crochet and everything last week, I kept things reasonably simple this week, and I enjoyed that. What I did was I worked a little bit on my stripy DK sock, which I hadn't done in a few weeks. It is from the yarn is Heather May DK sock in the rainbow lollipop pastel colorway, and they're getting quite long. I think I'm going to do one more repeat of the colors, so I'll finish on the purple, and then I'll do a little black cuff at the top, and then I should be able to start exactly on the right spot to do a second sock exactly the same stripe pattern. So I've just been pulling these out at night when I didn't want to think too much. I can basically put just like a really dim light on in the corner of the room and use it as my sort of wind down just before going to bed, and it's been quite lovely. I've also worked quite a bit on my EXP this week. I am getting through the yoke increases. I'm using the Kello kit from Louie and Lola. This is Kello and this is bronze, and they are beautiful together. I have done, I have to turn it inside out to show you. I am, as I've explained the last few weeks, I'm kind of doing the pattern in reverse. I am knitting every second row, and then I am purling through the stitch below to create the pattern. And I haven't folded the hem over. I've just left that on the provisional cast on, but it will fold down. Let me show you how it will look. It will fold down like that. So there'll be a little bit of that showing. And then this is how it's turning out. And you can see those, oops, where am I? the increases that I've been doing there, and it's just looking so fantastic. I'm really pleased too with how this is my beginning of round marker, how it's looking, oops, there as well in terms of the spacing. The inside, so my wrong side, is not as neat. The rest of it is, like, you can probably wear that way, but you can see here where I've been changing the color. It's a little bit of a line, but when I block that out, it will disappear mostly into the fabric, and this will be under the arm, so you won't see it that much. But I probably won't wear it this way in, because I really think that this is so effective and looks amazing that this will be the way that I'll be choosing to wear it. I'm using the tick off chart at the back of the pattern, which takes you through the increases, and you can just mark off the boxes as you go. So it's actually been really easy to keep track of and follow, and I can actually do it while I'm watching TV, because it actually is quite a meditative stitch pattern, because I'm knitting one row or one round, and then the next one I'm just doing the increases with next to whatever colored marker it tells me to do, or I am just going around doing the knit one, purl one below, and it's working out beautifully. And the fabric is really squishy and soft, but it's also quite light because it's not as thick as a fisherman's rib or a brioche. You're not slipping any stitches, so it really is a single fabric rather than a double fabric like the fisherman's rib or the brioche stitch is. So yeah, I don't really have all that much else to say on it. The pattern has been really easy to follow, and I am really enjoying the process and how it is coming out. So I didn't start on the crochet duster jacket that I talked about last week, even though I thought about it quite a bit, but I didn't get back to doing any more of the maths on that. That is still kind of churning away. But I did start on a second maize top. Did you just see flashing orange lights? I'm not sure if you did or not, because it was maybe reflected in my glasses. We just have some people from AusNet driving through the paddock to go and check on a power pole that's over the other side of our creek. They come here intermittently to check on it, to make sure there's no vegetation around, and to do like a safety inspection of the pole. And yeah, they were just driving through the paddock just then. So yeah, I knew that they were coming today, and they're clearly here already, so that's fine. So I didn't start a crochet project, but I did start a new knitting project. I started a maze. I showed you the one last week that I had made quite a while ago, and I was talking about trying out a new base, which is a merino silk blend, and I cast on, and I've made a ton of progress. So here is what's left of my first ball of the yarn. You can see it's got a really beautiful shine to it. It is a fairly loosely plied yarn, but the silk obviously gives it a lot of strength. And I have split for the sleeves already. That's how much I've done. I kind of wanted to get this project to a point where I could use this as my nighttime project without having to really look instead of the socks. So I kind of could choose between the two. So I had a 4-ply and an 8-ply project on the needles. So I really worked hard to get this to a point where I'm now just knitting the body round and around. Sorry, the needles are catching. So you start with the neckband, and you do a band across each shoulder like that, and then you pick up and create extra stitches to give it a ruffle. Then you knit raglan shaping. Now, when I was knitting this, I was clearly not thinking terribly straight, because the raglan shaping is not as per the pattern. Doesn't really matter. It's still going to fit. I got to the right number in the end, But for some reason, I missed doing a whole lot of the sleeve raglan shaping, but I got to the body number before I got to the sleeve number. So I just fudged it a little bit. Totally fine. I think I ended up doing the right number of rounds overall, but I just did them in a different order. It does look quite small, but it is going to block out. I have tried it on and it fits quite well. And being silk, it's going to have a little bit of, it's going to like hang a little bit and it will stretch. They're lovely big armholes because the arms are like quite balloon-like, and then you decrease quite a lot to create the cuff at the end. So now I am stocking it in the round for quite a while, so I can interchange this with my sock project to give myself some mindless stuff to do, and then the EXP, because I'm in the shaping part right now, I don't want to do that when I'm getting too tired, just so I don't mess it up too badly. I did actually mess up one round where I ended up knitting the pearls and purling the knits. And so there were first 3 or 4 spots where I kind of fixed it. From the side where the colored yarn is dominant, you can't tell, but on the other side you can see a little bump where I made a mistake. But I honestly don't care that much. I spent a little bit of time trying to get it right, and I could get that right side to look good, but I couldn't get the wrong side to look good as well. I don't want to make any more mistakes with the EXP, especially as it starts to get bigger. I should probably put in another lifeline soon, just to be sure. So while I am more awake and with it and fresh, I will work on that, and then I can pick up this or pick up my sock and just do some plain knitting, just to enjoy, the whole process of knitting. Am I going to cast on anything else? Maybe. Or am I just going to focus on these few things? Also, maybe. I'm enjoying these, so they're not anything that's going to be put to the wayside. But that's not to say that something else might not be put on my needles. As I was saying a few weeks ago, it's actually really good focusing on just a few things and making quite a lot of progress on them. I feel like it's a much more productive way to knit. I was flitting around between a lot of things for a while there, and I really wasn't making any progress on anything, and that was kind of getting a little bit discouraging. But I do like now having a passion flower project on the needles, and I should probably do that more, as well as using up some stash yarn, and I would like to also get that crochet project on the needles as well, just for a different form of craft. But because I want to do this whole jacket, it's kind of stopping me just at the moment. Well, that's it for another week. Thanks for spending some time with me. If you're enjoying these videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to seeing you next week on the farm. Bye.